Hello and welcome to the B Button, episode 21. I'm your host Baron Marf, and joining me as always is the man himself, the one, the only, the legendary, it's Angry Link. How you doing, buddy?
Anticlimactic as ever.
Yeah,
pretty good. Same old really.
Yeah.
Just trying to plug away at a few bits and bobs. Not
Been
really getting very...
much gaming?
Not a great deal, to be honest. Been a bit of a busy week for me, so it's been hard to sit down and actually get some done. But, you know, we've got hopefully got a few new releases out this week I'm looking forward to maybe be tempted by.
Yeah, I mean, so you caught my interest in, what was it, Hyper
Light Drifter. Yeah, that's released for the Xbox and the PS4.
That's really
recently. Good. Yes, it's got that. I love the like the 16-bit and the 8-bit aesthetic. I do love a bit of the old pixel art.
It's got a similar sort of feel to Fury on the PS4, which is
it's got that sort of same, but that sort of very contrasting colour-wise.
Very cool.
It's got a very sort of Mana, sort of Legend of Zelda sort of feel to it. So it's that action RPG from the sort of SNES days, which is great, but it's a bit more obviously a bit tougher.
I've had Through brought to my attention this week, which is a Kinect game which is apparently worth buying.
Which seems inexplicable in itself, really, doesn't
make sense to me.
So, have you actually cracked on much of it? Oh no, you was going to say you just picked it up, did you?
Just literally got it now, so I'm going to be dancing around like a tit in my living room later on
leaning
today.
and falling over.
Yeah, basically. My week's mostly been a little bit of We Happy Few.
How is it?
So the very small bit that I played, I really enjoyed. It feels very indie scene made.
Yeah.
It feels very basic, but it's still got almost a bit of a time splitters kind of. I like it. It looks good. But I haven't played a great deal of it. I'll a bit more of an update next week maybe on that one. Pokemon Go is the one which has been taking over my life. We're going to be joined later on today in our uncharted territory by Mikey the Meese, the man himself, the one and only, for a bit more in-depth Pokemon Go action. But yeah, it's been taking over my life.
No disfiguring accidents yet then?
Not yet, but I'm sure everything in time. Cool, okay, well let's bust on over to Bullet Bill's Big 3.
Yeah, I think it's quite a juicy one. At least one of those is for me anyway.
Pretty good.
Looking forward to that one.
Let's do it. Let's go. Bullet Bill's Big 3, baby. Here we go. It's the news. And for the first bullet hole for this week, we got what, Link?
For me, the big one. Been clamouring for info about this since we've sort of had hints earlier in the year. But Eurogamer have gone out this week with their big NX report. So this is some leaks that have come out, which have been corroborated by a few sources. A few other people in the industry have sort of said, probably. But yeah, so we've now finally got some details. The main sort of things is it's a handheld with a screen that's bookended by 2 detachable controllers. Again, obviously we've only seen mock-ups. There was a good little one on, I think it was Engadget or something like that, Digital Trends, where a few people have done a few different mock-ups, so they look pretty cool. It's got obviously a built-in stand, so you can plug it out and essentially you can do some in-car gaming for the kids. And it also connects to a base which hooks up to the TV.
Wow.
So I'm hoping, because we saw a few patents earlier in the year where it
certainly did.
It was saying about it could attach to something or connect to something and get a bigger boost in power. So I'm hoping that maybe you'll see a bit of graphical update when it's hooked up to the TV.
Were you thinking what, cloud gaming wise?
No, I'm thinking, whether you've got PC, you've got gaming laptops, which you've got a dock, which then you can plug it into and then you get more power from it.
Okay, so
it's got extra power and gumption. So there's like an extra little sort of console part, if you will.
Almost like on the Nintendo 64 with the upgrade. Similar, but in reverse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So obviously we've seen a few specs and chipset rumours. It's maybe or probably going with NVIDIA because they've got some really good, like the K1 chip, which obviously does all of their Android TV and Shield tablets, which can put out some pretty high sort of caliber graphics for mobile. But there could be the new K2 chip, which is obviously based off their new Pascal architecture. It's a lot more power efficient, so
Cool.
it probably, like, the release dates do sort of tie up, so it could go that way maybe.
Without knowing what the chipsets are, what impact is that having on release dates?
I think that might have been a reason for a pushback to 2017. I think that's more of a software thing, to be honest, but I wouldn't be surprised. So obviously the physical media side of it, probably be using cartridges. Well, it says that it will be using cartridges. We saw earlier, again, a company that does theirs 3DS ones. They've obviously recently acquired a really big contract from Nintendo. Physical media side, I don't know if they're going to be doing expandable storage, because I would imagine so, because they'd still be pushing the digital downloads.
They always have a memory,
They
sticker
should
sorts
do.
in there
They
because
should do.
they're never going to put in the size that you want.
No. And the operating system supported or reported to be brand new, and not Android based as previously reported.
Can I go on the record to say that that's great? I like it when Nintendo do their own stuff. They just need to keep up with it. And on one other sort of quick side note, quick tangent, put a fucking power plug in there, you tight bastards.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, they could just do the cop out and just do like a USB-C one.
They just do the, hey, use the same as your 3DS one that you've already got, so no need for us to put another one in.
But I think for what Nintendo want to achieve going forward, they're looking like with Windows Store and obviously iOS and Apple Store and the Google Play Store, it's a unified system, and it's better to, instead of trying to implement the Wii one into it and this and work all together.
Feels like it's turning into a mobile phone world.
Yeah. Which, if they're pushing what they want to push, then it makes sense to, really. Like you say, a handheld console that you're playing a bit of gaming in the morning before you go to work, right?
Yep.
Got to go to work, jump on the train, carry on my fucking Zelda, blah blah blah. I'm gonna have that Ganon, smash him down. Amazing.
Sounds pretty good. Cool.
So obviously there's only a few confirmed games. Obviously Zelda, Dragon Quest, Project Sonic, which we saw a bit of last week. Just Dance.
Whoop-de shit.
Pikmin 4 is rumoured to be sort of fairly close to completion, so I can imagine that should be a launch title. It's a good one, really, a perfect kind of device for it.
We had a little bit of discussion around launch titles earlier on, didn't we? And
launch windows.
Yeah, so can I go on the record to say, and this is to all of the big players in the market, a launch window for the general public, i.e. the ones who aren't interested in your shares or what sales you hit at one point, the launch window is the week that it's released. That's the launch window. It's not the next 12 months. So if you say launch window, it means when you launch the console.
I think you can get away with 3 months at best as a window. So if you've got a couple of good... No, but if you've got something like Zelda, you can get a good month and a half out of Zelda. You've got Pikmin 4 as well. You can get a good month out of Pikmin 4. So it's. I think the problem sometimes is you get too many games at once and not enough of them sell. So they're great games, like Heavenly Sword, when it come out. Like, everybody else was buying this, that and the other. They weren't buying Heavenly Sword, so another one didn't get made. So I don't know, it could be interesting. Obviously we're going to see a release globally in March of 2017, which has obviously already been said. There's a rumoured September unveiling when Nintendo are actually going to come out and say this is it and blah blah blah, which we haven't obviously had confirmed because it's obviously rumoured. And yeah, like I was saying earlier, it might have probably been pushed back because of like either software or maybe in the case of the chipset with Tegra's.
Yeah, because there's rumblings that it's software based as to why it may be pushed back, isn't it?
It could be, yeah. It's certainly an interesting one to think. I mean, if they could then bust out something that nothing's been worked or heard of, because Retro Studios haven't been working on anything. and we all know everyone's favourite Retro Studios games.
Get back on that Metroid.
Yeah.
So, cool. Okay.
It's looking good. Looking good.
Looking
Just
good.
hopefully they do unveil it in September, so I don't have to wait too long.
Come on now. Sweet, so over to our second bullet hole for this week, and it's the Kingdom of Amalur's creators, 38 Studios. So after a 4-year debacle against this now defunct studio, they've eventually agreed that no criminal proceedings
They've been acquitted of all any charge.
They're not going to be indicted for criminal charges. Wow. So, hooray, I'm glad for them. Albeit the fact that, so generally, for those of you who don't know, they made a fantastic RPG, got some really solid reviews. I really, really loved it and wish they'd done a lot more with it. But sadly, the studio kind of went into disarray. They took a £75 million loan from the Rhode Island government, yeah. And as a result of that, and then basically the company went down the Swanee, and so did all the investments. So yeah, this has been going on for a while. The owner of 38 Studios, a gentleman called Kurt Schilling, yeah.
Former pro pitcher.
Yeah,
and a Major League Baseball pitcher.
Yeah, he's been under no shit along with the rest of his senior management team. But they've all seemed to got away with it. And to be honest, I don't know whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but I do know that they made a great game, and I wish they'd get back on and do another one, but without the financial fuck-ups.
Yeah, because I don't know if EA, because they published it, didn't they? I don't know if they own the IP or not.
Oh, God, no.
But I don't know how well it sold.
It didn't do particularly well.
Which obviously was part of the problem, I'd imagine.
No, it didn't do particularly well at all. But I would encourage anybody who can, if it's still licensed anymore, I'm not sure if it is, but if you can get a copy of it on the 360, go back and do it. Great game, really great game. So, what are your thoughts on it, Link? Do you think they should have gone under? Should have got some shit or not?
It's one of those, because, okay, say they're in the wrong. What's going to happen? Are the people that lost their jobs and that have potentially lost homes or investment over it, are they going to get their money back or be reimbursed? No. Is financially ruining someone, another series of people, and maybe businesses that they've got invested in, which, if not done properly, they can be accountable for? I don't know. I think it's, just let it go.
Let's be honest. I don't think they went into business not to be successful and for it to go under. And it was actually thrown out because they couldn't justify, it didn't actually go anywhere, and they couldn't take any actions against them because they couldn't justify the argument.
No, when obviously the 38 Studios went down into 2012, it's 4 years it's been battling and raging on.
Yeah.
I mean, how much money has been wasted on just the investigation alone?
Well, that's what Kurt Schilling said on Twitter, wasn't it? He basically said that,
What a waste of fucking time.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you 4 years ago what my thoughts are on it now, so.
Yeah.
So there it is. There we go. On to our third bullet hole for this week, and
some better news.
Yeah, so this is like fighting from the other corner now.
Yeah.
What we got, Link?
We have the old rivalry is back.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It is.
Ding
back.
ding, round two.
The Mega Drive / Genesis console.
Mega Drive.
Yeah, I know. We've obviously got to try and be global at least.
Mega Drive, yeah, but okay, yeah. Genesis for other people.
Well, it's actually an official one. Obviously, At Games, the company are making it. They've done loads and loads of these things.
And it is a Mega Drive, yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So obviously, they're releasing it. It's a little portable console. A little mini console with 80 built-in Sega Mega Drive games.
80? So
80,
compared to Nintendo's, what do they have, 30 or 50? I can't remember.
I think it's 50. Yeah, it's 30, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Nintendo.
As
long as... anyway, I'm going to digress. We've got a half dozen Sonics. There's 3 Mortal Kombats, Golden Axe series, and many, many more.
Mm-hmm.
It includes a cartridge slot. So if you've still got any old Mega Drive games kicking about, then that's always handy.
That was the hot one for me.
The SD card slot as well, which you can use to expand your library with some... I don't know how they're going to do it. I'd imagine legally owned ROMs to expand the library, which is very handy. and they're also doing a handheld version. Which obviously is everything's the same minus the cartridge slot, obviously. But yeah, it's a little 3.2-inch screen, I believe it was. Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, the whole thing is about sort of sharing the game experience in that sort of era. So I kind of want to do it with other people.
I mean, they should probably have a couple of the Fantasy Stars on there. There's some solid games.
There's some amazing games. Like I like some of the obscure ones. There was Chikan the Forever Man. Like it's where he's got this like badass hat. He's some old dead dude with a couple of swords casting magic.
It's a lot of old games.
Eternal Champions, because I was like a Mega Drive nut. So like all those like obscure like you've got like a cyborg versus a vampire versus a witch versus a warlock fighting game. Like amazing.
So
I love
basically, then come October, it's not a case of which one are you going to buy? It's
Mega Drive.
Which one are you buying first?
Oh, it's definitely the Mega Drive. It's definitely the Mega Drive.
No, but obviously the TV unit and then the handheld.
TV unit straight away. For
£50 or $49.99 for each of them. So they're both the same price.
But do you know what pushes that over for me for the TV version? Wireless controllers. Two wireless controllers.
But I think it's just using old AV cables, isn't it? I don't know. I didn't see if it was a HDMI out.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. I hope they go the right way and put HDMI on there. But it's not official Sega though, is it? This is the only thing. Like Nintendo's release is an official Nintendo.
Yeah, I think this actually is.
ROMs.
I think it is actually an official because At Games have licensed the.
Sorry, but what I'm saying is it's not Sega who are actually making it. Like it is Nintendo's making the Nintendo version. It's
But then again, it will be Foxconn that's making it.
Yeah, no doubt.
So it's these companies never make these things.
We love
they
you,
just
Foxconn.
They just design them
for churning out stuff like
and enslaving the masses to build our cheap electronics.
Yay! So wrong.
But that again is. A different kettle of fish that we maybe might want to avoid.
Well, if we're going to get beefy about stuff, let's take over to What's the Beef, Chief?
Yeah, I think it's better move on to there. It's got quite an annoyance, really.
Let's bust on over. Let's do this. Oh, yeah, motherfuckers, what's going on? It's the beef. It's What's the Beef time? Where we talk about things which are concerning us, and one of the issues for this week is waddling.
Well, moving from the kettle of fish to, like say, the side of beef, it's the shitty remasters.
Shitty remasters.
I don't mind if you're just going to port a game, but I just hate this. Oh, we're remastering it, and I mean, recently it was the Marvel Alliance ones they've just released, and it just. I mean,
is it a re-release or is it a remaster? What are they?
It's just re-release.
Yeah,
it's not a remaster at all. I mean, the PC port's a complete fucking mess. It's ridiculously expensive for what it is. Like these are games that are from 360. So, I mean, you're charging $60 for the pair.
Yeah, rip off.
And just yeah.
I mean, for me, one of the things I've got with this is just like. Re-release something. Let's be honest. If you were running on the 360, you're now running it on the Xbox One, or you were on the PS3 to PS4, then I expect to see some sort of better running game.
This is the thing.
Like just even if it's just frame rates don't drop or
if it runs
like
better.
That, just do that. But that is not a remaster. That's a re-release.
Yeah.
A remaster. And I was saying this to you earlier on. The only game that I can truly deem. Right here, right now, if I think about it off the top of my head, I might think of something else in a bit, is it's got to be Final Fantasy VII. It's the only one that I think they're truly remastering and when they remake it, you know.
Well, they're going sort of episodic, really, aren't they? Because I remember this was years ago, one of the producers turned around and said, I mean, you're talking, it's like probably, at this time, it'll be about 7 years for us to redo everything in Final Fantasy VII.
No doubt. It's a massive game, huge game.
Because traditionally Japanese studios aren't filled with hundreds of people like, say, someone like Rockstar do. So, yeah, it's... I mean, it mainly Activision again. I'll go Cash Division, because it is just slap HD remaster on it and people will buy it. Because it's a milk. They're just basically milking their fucking Marvel license here.
Or anything really, anything they can get their hands on. Yeah. And this is kind of leads to the point of like what is actually warranting like justification behind remastering or re-releasing these games.
Yeah. I mean, re-release Prototype 1 and 2, they could have done backwards compatibility, but they remastered it, air quotes, so they could sell it again.
And what did the remaster consist of?
The exact same game, but actually running a bit worse in certain areas. Deadpool, again, pretty much same as above. It was never a brilliant game to begin with.
I'm gobsmacked, right? Deadpool, sorry, this one's making me writhe. I'm gobsmacked that they called that a remaster because, frankly, and with all due respect, the first iteration of the game was janky as
mediocre
hell.
At best.
At best, right? Then they've released something which looks like you immediately put on but it was a 360 game hat when you shouldn't. You should be like, no, fuck it. If you're going to remaster it, I want it to at least look like it's an Xbox One game.
Look at the Uncharted collection.
Yeah.
That's a remaster because they've gone back and they've rebuilt stuff and applied different character models and
I'll give them their dues. They worked harder than just slapping it through a higher running chipset.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, it's just annoying, and the only remaster that Activision have done that I'm interested in, I've got to buy something I've got no interest in. So I'd quite happily spend 40 quid again on. That's the only one that they could get away with.
Which one, sorry?
Modern Warfare 4.
COD 4. Okay.
Sorry, COD 4 Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Like that, I saw the first level, the ship takedown. Again, I was like, I'm sold. That looks amazing. Does look really good. And
so you getting it?
No.
Why not?
Because it's a pre-order bonus. You can only get it if you get this fucking super special editions, whichever fucking bundle pre-order download. And no, I'm not going to spend 80 quid just to get a game. Because I'll have Modern Warfare or Infinity Warfare, whatever it's fucking called.
Well, it's funny because this touches
play.
Straight on the point that I was saying, like, I was thinking, like, map packs, like, remasters of that and COD, we were saying earlier on, and we were like, is that value for money? And we're both like, yeah, no, it's not. But then for people who put a lot of hours into it, then maybe, yes, it is. But the bit I was thinking was, well, why don't you make remasters or HD versions of your games bonus DLC onto games? And this is there it is, straight there on Call of Duty. But in the first instance, it's immediately put your nose out of joint because you want to play the old game, not the new one, and can't have that separate option.
Yeah, and it's just frustrating because you've got some really, really great games, and I mean Prototype is a prime example. If they just, like you say, tweaked the engine a bit and got it up and running, because it's not a bad looking game. I mean, I wouldn't care that it's 360 graphics.
No.
But just get it running better.
What did they do? Made it run worse.
Yeah.
It ran like a pig on the
because it would have just been slapped through, let's get it up and running, we'll not optimise it at all.
Yep.
It's running, let's get it to press.
I mean, can you imagine what they could do if they made a game like that now on Xbox One graphics? They should be able to like have him like smashing through buildings and all sorts of shit.
Yeah. But again, you could just save yourself some time and just go and get what's the one on the PlayStation? Split Second. It's an old Brooke Howard film, that is. The superhero one come out really early on, done by Sucker Punch. They've done 3 of them now.
You've got me. Can you name
it?
Can you name it, folks? Because we can't.
Well, Sucker Punch, you should know. It's anyone who knows that. I'm just being Second Light. No.
Oh, Second Son. What, the Infamous?
Yeah, that's the one. Infamous.
Ah.
There we go. We got there in the end.
Yeah, actually, I really
that's just go and play that.
Yeah.
Save yourself the prototype death.
Horrible. True.
But no, I think that it needs to start changing.
So what are you looking for? What's your fucking answer to this beef? What's gonna fucking sort this shit out?
If you're gonna just port it over and tell me it's a port. Don't charge me fucking stupid money for it when I can go to a second-hand shop and get a copy of it.
Yeah.
For fucking peanuts.
If your game is like £4 in like a shop pre-owned, then don't put it up there for like $29.99 or some stupid shit. Put it up there for like I don't mind you put it up there for a tenner.
Yeah.
You know, that's reasonable, but anything more than that, you're starting to push your luck.
But no, it's like, just to go over some of the things with the Marvel Alliance, like they've missold characters that were only part of the DLC, and I don't think they're all there. So you're thinking, alright, I can play as Hulk and some other characters. Like, no, you can't. Because it's not actually on the disc or on the game. Blah, blah, blah. It's just a load of bollocks. Again, it's just fucking Activision. Just milking and milking.
The cash division.
Because Deadpool, they've kind of ruined the chance of any game really coming from it. Because they've just done some pretty shit, knock it out, fuck it. And especially with the movie coming out, they could have really gone to town and tied it up and done something with it.
The crazy thing is, you look at some of the games we were just talking about, was it Hyperlight
Drifter,
I never remember that name. Hyperlight Drifter. If they'd just done something like that with Deadpool.
There's so many creative...
Do you know what I mean? Cheaper, easier, quicker.
There's so many creative, talented studios that someone like Activision can't really understand that you don't have to buy the studio, then consume them, and then kill them. You can just let them, you can license them in, you give them a good deal, they'll do some great work.
Give them the parameters to work within, let them go do their thing.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
and
live and learn.
Sorry, a bit of a tangent, but 2K, they've started an indie division or a funding thing, but then I can't help but think if they're funding, is it still indie? Like, you've got one of the biggest publishers in the world. Well, they are now because of Grand Theft Auto Online.
Yeah, not sure.
The money machine that just prints them off Benjamins.
But that's cool, man. That's great news. Let them do it.
But no, they do need to sort this fucking remaster bullshit out. If you're going to remaster it, actually remaster it. The Uncharted Collection, they didn't even call it a HD remaster. It's just the Uncharted Collection. That's how good it is. So we don't need to. It's already amazing.
But what they did was they went, it's the Uncharted Collection. That's it. But they still upped the graphics on it.
Yeah, went to town on it. Yeah. And actually did a good job. And obviously that's the...
60 frames per second, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, getting everything up and running. The Last of Us was another good one.
Yeah.
Again, they didn't need to... They just upped the resolutions and the textures and stuff.
But didn't make a big hoo-ha about it yet.
But that was an unbelievable looking game for the PS3 though.
Yeah.
Let alone the fucking PS4. But no, they just need to sort it out. Stop trying to fucking milk and bend people over for these crappy...
Just clearly define what you're doing and look at your price point, because it's got to be relative to what you're producing. If you're spending a year plus on something, trying to get it looking, running great, and it's demonstrable at the end of it, great, you can have a bit more money. But if you're literally just running it through an engine and going, oh yeah, that works now on here, release it like they did with Prototype, you're taking the piss, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. I feel we've vented a little bit on the remasters.
I do feel better about it now.
Cool. We're going to bust on over to our Uncharted. We're joined by Mikey the Meese himself.
Mikey Meese.
Yeah, who's our Poco expert. So he's going to get on this Pokemon.
Well, I don't know about expert, but definitely fanatic.
Yeah, fanatic's definitely the word. Cool. So let's move on over to Uncharted territory. Uncharted territory, the mellow section of the B button, the place where we meander around random thoughts just to voice them and give them a bit of time. This week, and specialising in our Pokey Corner for our content this week, we're hitting a bit of Pokemon Go and just the massive effect that it's had on gaming over the last week or so. I've not been doing any console gaming.
I have not been doing any console gaming.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. It's been taking over.
Yeah.
So, Meese, you've got a bit of background on Pokemon. So, were you in from the get-go when the cartoons were launched and all that jazz?
I did like the cartoon. I liked the original Game Boy games. Game
Boy games were massive.
Yeah, I didn't get straight into those until the card game. Actually, it was the card game that brought me into the world of Pokemon.
Okay.
Got addicted to that, and now I'm addicted to
Still
this.
got the collection?
Yeah, I've got the majority. Yeah, I don't know if it's a first edition Charizard. I got it just in a pack from a shop. It was
So and this is like pretty serious shit, basically.
Oh man, to me it was
amazing.
I'll never forget that day.
Because I think we've all maybe had our like sticker book collection moments or card collections or whatever. I mean, I think I was the Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, I did every craze, mate, going. Yeah. Trolls, football stickers, you name it.
Loved it.
Yeah, man.
Cool. So, I mean, you've obviously got you were there at the beginning of Pokemon, so like back in the day, and now this thing's sort of just basically blown up all over the world.
Well, it is just taken over. I mean, it's probably even getting to the same size as Twitter followers now. It's quite crazy how it's just blown up. Like you said, everywhere you go, you see people, especially near the Pokestops.
Poker zombies just stood around everywhere.
Absolutely.
Grasping at
and they're not just kids, which you'd expect.
Yeah.
But again, then, looking at the age of the thing, I mean, it's 98 it came out over here.
Yeah, it's
games,
still going,
I mean, like you say, it's nearly 20 years ago.
Still going strong.
There's kids that were playing it there that are, like you say, adults.
They're adults now.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
Yes, we are.
Or adults that are somehow still kids.
Mm.
But, yeah, it's one of those, and it's a phenomenon that's been around for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this Pokemon Go, obviously, is why we're all talking about it now. You've been macking it a fair amount as well.
When the servers haven't been down, that's been the frustrating part.
Servers been a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand it's like any new release of a game, especially one that's coverageable to walking around and things.
So. But I mean, are you like hitting server issues like every day, every other day?
It's getting better, but then I don't know, sometimes it will go down for hours, which you expect will be maintenance, or I've heard people have been trying to hack them, because obviously there's big hate for all this game as well as the love, like anything, it's a balance.
I think a lot of the hate's been about people like walking into roads and shit. And,
I saw a man the other day on YouTube or some video on Facebook, and he was pissed off. Yeah, he didn't like the game at all.
Proper rant.
I think he was just sick of people walking around everywhere and in people's gardens and all sorts.
So, like, how have you gone about it? Have you been like busting around, like walking about, or have you been like driving somewhere and then getting out, or have you been? Like...
I want to say I've not been using it whilst driving, but because you got to walk. Like, you got to get the miles for those eggs.
Yeah.
It's the only one way to do it. Or, as some people have discovered, there are apps out there that you can change your GPS. So
which we do not approve of.
I do not approve of, because I'm a traditional fellow Pokemon trainer who likes to do it raw, ripped, rugged. So yeah,
ripped, raw,
and plus
rugged.
It's good for you. It's exercise, isn't it? That's one main beneficial thing of this game.
So has it got you out there?
Oh, definitely. I mean,
the poker jog.
Yeah, pretty much. I haven't been jogging because I've heard if you go too fast, it cuts you out. So yeah, you don't want to go too fast. But
so the poker plod.
Yeah, let's call it the plod. Yeah, I
awesome.
like that. Awesome.
So what's been like your tactics with this? Like, how have you gone about it?
Well,
I mean, for example, like, have you been like, right, I'm going to go for this Pokemon, I'm going to smash it as hard as I fucking can to get it leveled up and beefed up, or have you been like...
There's a radar system which I find isn't currently working to what it's supposed to be. It's like a paw print system. Obviously, everyone who plays it knows about.
Taken out in an update.
They've just said they're taking it out.
Okay, so I'm a step behind already.
Because it sucks balls though. It doesn't work. No,
of course. I mean, I think it did when the first few days it came out. It was working, but obviously, it's just the amount of people on it is just clogging everything up.
Never seen a paw print.
No,
never.
No, I've never seen one. There's always been 3, but no, I don't really have any main tactics. I'm just going with the flow at the minute.
Because I went through a stage where I was collecting literally, if I saw a Pokemon, I'd be out there spinning balls. Yeah,
right.
baby.
Okay, yeah.
So you've been like hitting everyone you've seen? Oh,
yeah. I mean, obviously the amount of Pidgeys and rats are becoming a bit, repetitive now. But then, you collect them, evolve them, and more XP in it, and especially now I hear when you hit a certain level, it starts to get a bit crazy how much XP you need.
Well, this is it. So somebody over here at the B button has been doing some sort of gaming experience on there, which may involve them being around level 22 on Pokemon Go, and 100,000 to level up. It's like a huge jump. They're going to absolutely beat the shit
I think
out
they've
of it.
obviously realised that loads of people are playing it and they don't want everyone to get to a certain level, which they probably should have had a level cap of some kind like Destiny does, or I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if they thought that one through. But
No.
So servers have been a bitch.
Yeah, like I
but
said,
when you do get on, gameplay
yeah,
wise,
it's fantastic. It's it's very accurate. It knows where you are all the time when you turn around. And
do you use the AR or do you turn it off?
I turned it off because I found obviously that the battery drain is one of the main problems with the game. So anything I can do to help that, I'll do. So yeah, I've turned that all off, which I'm a bit gutted about. I used to like seeing them obviously pop out on the pavement or on the road or some really crazy place. But
Caught any in the toilet yet?
no, I haven't played in the toilet actually yet. That's quite weird actually.
So
I thought I could have done that.
They
but,
capture like the image of the actual capture, or at least they did. It's not working at the moment, but it did for a while. And like I looked at mine, and all of them were like the back of a toilet seat door, and it was just like, okay, I don't need you capturing this information. I don't need this shit.
I think you can actually change it if it's not in the place you want it to be, or if you want it to be in a certain place, you can switch from the A thing, and then
nice background.
It will move it for you. Yeah.
If you can get like a Weedle curled up on like a log in the bottom of the bowl, that would be pretty special.
Yeah, I've seen a few funny memes online.
Oh, special times. Okay, so like, do you think there's any elements of like pay to win in this? So like, if you don't spend the cash, you can't.
Well, that's just the nature of gaming. I think at the current rate it's going at, it's there's stupid people out there that are going to pay for it, so they're going to do it regardless. Can't see it changing anytime soon.
But do you think it's like to the detriment of Pokemon Go, or do you think you can still play it without spanking a load of cash on it?
Well, I must admit, normally free games only give you so much far you can go into the game, whereas in this, everything's pretty much unlocked. You know, you've got to do it yourself, obviously, unless you get the fake GPS like some people have.
Which we totally disapprove.
And, so, it's one of those, isn't it?
It's one of those, isn't it?
It's one of those. What are you going to do?
Are there any things about it that you'd change?
Well, clearly the battling, like the gym battles, that needs some serious changing. That's just tapping a Pokemon on a screen rather than the traditional turn-based game they used to have on the Game Boy.
So, like, I knew nothing about Pokemon, right? I'm sorry, I knew of Pokemon.
You're a noob. Pokemon noob.
Exactly.
Right.
Complete and utter noob. And this game's got me involved. I've even gone back to some of the cartoons to like just see what they were like, what it was about. I appreciate it was a kids sort of cartoon at the time, but still the poker rap, that's solid, man. You got to bust those beats.
Yeah.
But the one thing which is apparent to me is I kind of said this, and this was basically cockfighting for children. Is basically what Pokemon is. It's like getting
which we'd
cute
already
animals.
established are mostly adults.
Yeah. So, is this cockfighting? Because this isn't the type of cockfighting you were looking for, is it? Because this is tapping the screen. It's not.
Yeah, I do like what they've gone for. I think it's like a Pokemon Stadium kind of way of battling, but no, I prefer the old turn-based tactical version of it. Also, as well, you can't battle other people at the minute. I mean, I think they're going to obviously implement that at some point.
They are obviously bringing trade in.
Yeah, and trading as well, yeah.
So they are bringing stuff in at later dates.
Obviously, yeah.
But with the servers in trouble as they are, I think they're just trying to get that all rocking.
I think when, obviously, it starts to settle down and the teething problems stop and less people are playing it, apart from, obviously, the hardcore players, then it will it'll start fixing itself hopefully.
I want to see something like, you have to go out to a forest and there's a battle which you can't do elsewhere, and you get something out of that. So actually
bosses and characters around that you've got to actually fight, as opposed to just
bosses.
Expanding the different things you can do.
Well, actually creating a lore using your own town, because I remember seeing an article from one of the websites, gaming websites, and the woman, she loved Pokemon and all that, so she was completely hooked from the get-go. But with all the Pokestops and where she's visiting these places, she's actually learning about her city, and she'd lived there for like 10 years, and she never knew about two-thirds of these places.
Yeah, some people don't venture out, do they?
It's just a really good way of like you say, for example, because we're in Bournemouth, you've got Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. She's buried up in the town, in the church.
Wimborne Minster's fascinating.
Yeah, because you can then have themes around that, and implement and try and actually, like you say, build a game. Because obviously it's Niantic's Ingress which has driven all of this, and it's pretty much the exact same game with the Pokemon.
GUI on top.
Yeah, that's it. So until then, I think they need to start actually bringing some gameplay and actual game into it. Because I've always sort of looked at it as it's one of those things that you can never win.
Yeah,
there is no winning.
Like no end game, is there?
It's like it's that thing that you're told when you're not very good at something. When they're kids, everyone's parent says it's not the winning that counts; it's the taking part.
Bollocks.
It's that very much that sentiment that you just know as a kid. You're like, no, that's complete and utter shit.
Yeah,
I don't buy it now, and I didn't buy it then.
Why would we compete if we weren't there to win?
But like you said, this person who's learnt about a town, so that's another beneficial. I'm sure a lot of people are getting more benefits from this game than negative.
So is it really fair to sort of look at it as a traditional game?
I think it's definitely it's not a traditional game.
No.
I think it's gonna blow up what people are gonna start doing with games on like iPhones and Android devices and such like. Now I reckon it's gonna
get Flappy Birded, isn't it?
Yeah.
If people are gonna come out with their own versions of this game.
It's like Crossy Pokemon or something.
I've seen a Ganja Man one, apparently.
Just walking around.
I don't know if it's real or not. Yeah, but I think it's its own kind of Pokemon. But
so we're going to see lots of rips and stuff like this.
Well, look how popular it is. Anything popular gets.
But without this sort of like typical end game that you have to do this to do that and collect this and that's the end game and you've won. How long do you see yourself playing this for?
I can't see me stopping for a while because that's the tagline. But what I've said to a few people is that's actually impossible because you can't. I mean, unless you know the owners of the game.
Book the holiday.
Because I've heard the actual Pokemon that you can't catch are coded in the game. They are in the game.
Yeah, Mewtwo's in there as well.
Yeah, I've heard New York or something.
Dragonite or something.
Dragonite, yeah, and then Mew as well. I've heard as well. You can only find him in a certain jungle.
No, he's not unlocked yet. That's what they're saying.
I forget where it is,
but the point is that there's a lot to be done in this. I mean, so for 1 week solid, I've been mashing this game.
Yeah.
I mean, like hard.
How many have you unlocked?
I don't know, but it's got to be at least 2/3.
Yeah.
I think I'm up to 69, 70 Pokemon, so I'm about halfway to what you can potentially get.
There's loads and loads and loads more to do.
Yeah.
But it's been entertaining. It's been a lot of fun.
Definitely.
And if you were like the Mac Daddy, and I used to love it, paper toss. Yeah. If you ever play paper toss, you get like a level 5 win from a fan, and the bin's on the opposite side of the room.
It's very similar to that.
You catch it, put the right spin on it, kadunk, straight in there. Yeah. It's exactly the same. And for me, there is nothing more satisfying than watching some really cute Pokemon get smacked in, like, if they got really big eyes, get smacked in the eye by a Pokeball, like.
Well, what's your best catching technique? Is it the curveball?
You got to spin that shit up, and you got to curveball that. You got it's paper toss. You got to spin it up, fling it the far side.
Because I've hit an excellent shot only once, and I've still not been able to master it.
I hit it.
I get the great and the nice pretty much nearly every time, but
you never get like the perfect shot, do you?
It's very difficult. I don't know if there's any
going on.
Yeah, I might have to Google it later, see if there's any.
So, I mean, has this taken you back to like memory lane with all of this? Has this been like rekindled your Pokemon love?
I mean, obviously I knew much about it with the card game, and then obviously I went back and played the Game Boy game. So yeah, of course it's rekindled it.
You've got some advantages though from having that history, because you can be like, on the battles, I'm gonna do like, I don't know, water against rock or whatever
Yeah,
the combos
I
are.
mean, there's people at work that I would never have thought would be playing this game, and it's like my manager's playing this game, and he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what the Pokemon are, and I suppose, like you said, I've got that to my advantage. But it's a self-teaching game. That's what the beauty of it is. It's you know, you learn as you go, and people, your friends, give you tips and things. And
would you? Because obviously they've just started showing off some of the gym leaders and their info and stuff, haven't they?
Right. Yeah.
But like, going back to the game, wouldn't it be? Would you like to see actually gym leaders put in at these gyms, so you've got someone that can teach you stuff?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So it encourages you to go out
and then you can gain badges as well and collect. That's another thing to collect, I suppose. Keep the game going a bit longer. Yeah, it's just obviously difficult with there being so many gyms, I suppose. You know, how would you balance all the different leaders out?
Have you found that it started to polarise a little bit with like what level people are at? So I went past a gym the other day and it had what they call a dragon knight or dragon might?
Yeah, a dragonair or dragonite.
No, like a dragon knight, yeah.
Yeah.
Level 2,500 something CP, and it's just like, how the fuck has that person done that?
Yeah.
He's literally just put that there to dick anybody who goes into that gym.
Well, you know, when you're running the gym, you can go into the shop. Again, another something you have to learn or find out yourself. And there's a shield icon. Don't know if you know this, on the top right. And every time you're owning a gym, every 21 hours, you get like 10 coins and something else or something.
See, this is shit I didn't even know.
Yeah. Yeah, and you should be doing it now with your little GPS.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, of course, yeah, sorry.
Completely different.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah. But yeah, all in all, so, I mean, Pokemon Go's been pretty phenomenal. It's been pretty big. Do you see this being this big next week?
I can't believe it's still going. I definitely see it having another few months. It could even lead on till Christmas. It all depends on the updates and what they bring. I mean, my general opinion is this is just the start of it. This is the beta, and once it ball rolls, they've got other Pokemon waiting to go to just chuck into the game. Then it's more Pokemon to catch, and obviously I think people stopped or fell out of love with it when they brought out all these new ones that just are rubbish. You know, they're not the originals or
yeah.
And then, I mean, I didn't mind them when they brought out the pre-evolutions of some, like there's Pichu of Pikachu and stuff like that. I think they could have just worked on that, just kept evolving the originals and de-evolving, rather than starting to make new things that just look like Digimon shit, or you know.
So you think that like just by playing to like the older characters, people are like the nostalgia value
exactly.
Just up?
You know who they are.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know who these new ones are. Who are you? Unless you go back and then watch the cartoons, which I'm guessing they must have done.
Well, like I said, it's drawn me in, man. I went to go have a look at it, and one thing I will say about Pokemon is, fuck me, that is like the hardest pitch I've ever seen. Because they're like, buy it, oh, gotta know them all. By the way, do you know their names? Right, let's learn them right now. Gotta get them all, go. You've only got 5 days. Make sure you're here tomorrow, otherwise you're gonna miss the full set and you won't be able to collect them all. Buy them now. I was like, Jesus Christ. Okay, I get it. You want me to get these things? I'll get them.
I'm surprised though that Nintendo or Game Freak have never been charged with inciting a riot. Because obviously, to get certain characters for the original Game Boys, you'd have to go to specific places on certain days. Like they'd do it like once a year or something. They'd give away Mew, didn't they? And again, how because you think an average family is like the 2.4 kids, blah blah blah, and all of that. So essentially, you've got at least 3 people. But then times that by, I mean, obviously in Japan, something like 100,000, 150,000 people. So it's 500,000 people just descending on this mall or this one building.
Get out of my way, old lady, I need a Mew.
I mean, well, there are dangerous things, aren't there? I mean, I nearly walked out into the road the other day, and I just thought, hang on, what am I doing? Let's just cross at the crossing like a normal person.
You'll definitely be looking at getting one of these little watches then.
Oh, no, I'm not that serious.
No,
I'm 33.
So, sorry, what's the watch?
It's you can then catch them. You don't actually have to take your phone out.
It's basically a bracelet with a Pokeball on it. It lights up, I think, when there's a Pokeball nearby. But then I find you don't need that. You can just have your phone in your pocket and it vibrates.
Got to catch them all.
Exactly. Well, obviously.
The driving one, though, isn't it? It's just like boom.
The driving, it's just too easy. It's too easy to do it whilst driving. It's like they put the Pokestops in the worst place.
We do not approve of it, though, do we?
Oh, no, let's just put that down for the record. I've never done it.
No.
Never.
And nor should you, yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
Mm.
Cool. Okay, well, there we are, folks. A bit of Pokemon Go. All in all, Mies, are you going to be hitting this for like a long period of time? Is this you now? Are you like locked in? Fuck Xbox. It's straight to iOS for a bit of Pokemon.
I mean, I've lost a bit of weight recently, so I'm not going to stop going Pokemon Go.
It's made me go out and do shit. So
No.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's great. I'm loving it. I mean, yeah, what can you complain about it? People dying. It's very rare.
Yeah.
People die all the time.
Cool.
As I've said
It's
in previous people, though, it's, if you're not smart enough to realise that you shouldn't be walking around on a railway track and not paying
There's a clear
attention,
warning, so I suppose if you can't read,
then
that's your fault.
You're a moron.
Yeah.
And as the eternal Bill Hicks once said, great, one less moron in the world.
Absolutely,
We should be celebrating.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
Which is very harsh,
Can't look left.
admittedly, but...
I just love
It's
the idea
true.
of like driving down the road, people listening to the podcast, maybe like bodies and phones just shattered over the floor. No great loss.
It's like the end of the world.
No great loss. Cool. Okay, folks, so there we are for another B Button, episode 21, wrapping this bad boy up. So, Mies, thanks for joining us. It's been
No
good to have you
problem.
here.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Cool. Right, so from Angry Link, it's...
Hasta luego.
Nice. From the Mies, it's...
Auf Wiedersehen.
And from the Baron, it's... I'm out. Peace.
Peace.